Okay, so um, I'm just going to let other people come in, and they can come and go as they as they like. Um, I'll just say a few words, and then we can just talk. So there's nothing happening. All there is this. This immediacy, just what is. That's all. That's all we're gonna talk around. We're just going to talk around what is. Because there isn't anything else. There isn't anything else that's needed, as in anything necessary, nothing to find, no one to find anything. There's just this, just what is, unadulterated. And somehow that's just enough. Somehow that's all there is. So it's enough. It's so simple, so obvious, so normal. This doesn't need a fanfare or a, big kind of anything. This just is what it is. It's totally normal, and that's the wonder of it because it's hidden in plain sight, if you like. This is the toddler. This is the child's sense. This is what is known in some way by everyone, but in a way completely overlooked all the time. And what seems to veil that, what veils what is the seeking for it. It's just the seeking for it that just veils it, that keeps it tantalizingly away from that which seeks. And somehow that when that which seeks just apparently falls away, all that's left is what is. There's nothing happening. So we can talk around that. We can talk about that in some way, possibly. Um, and we could just see what comes out. Um, but it will always be immediacy. This is always immediacy, no matter what apparently happens or what apparently or seems to happen. This is always what is. There's a seeming contraction that seems to happen with human beings, a kind of fever, a kind of fever that is called me, the me state. It's not really a thing. It's just a state of energy. It's a state of contraction, a quality of contraction. That's all. That's all we're talking about. It's not very important. Of course, it likes to make itself quite important and thinks it's a very important, But that's just the nature of it because it feels like it is a center. It is the center of everything. And it's solid and it's real and it's me and it's separate. It's of course separate from everything. But that that constant sense of separation is so utterly unsatisfying that it just drives that further and further seeking, a trying to get somewhere, trying to find out what's missing, what is it that that is lost here? Where is paradise? And all the time that there's a seeking and all the time that there's an attempt to know, an attempt to find, all of that is what veils what is. So it's just a fever. It's just a fever. No one does it. No one creates that fever. It's just what seems to happen. And what also seems to happen is that that can completely fall away. All there is this immediacy. Anyway, please, if there are any questions there, or not, or just, or just want to say something, please do. Very happy to. Hi, Uzma, please. Yeah.
Hi, David. Thank you
Hi,
for this
hi.
meeting.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah,
When I think about war and global conflict, I
yeah,
really love your metaphor of magnetism,
yeah,
um, attraction, repulsion, friction.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
those terms really resonate when it
yeah.
comes to that. And I was thinking, could could that be said about things like concepts like racism, sexism, transphobia, homophobia, etc., in terms of the attraction, repulsion, or is it more like a more intensified me state that at just a larger scale?
I mean, all that's so all there is energy, so all there is energy, and that energy, seems to form that different qualities, and those qualities can rub up against each other, attraction, repulsion. That's what seems to happen, and that there can be friction between apparent bodies, and that friction is conflict, is the energy of conflict. But that happens completely. That's something that goes on in all natural. If you see that in nature all the time, that's, well, the edges of things is where there is conflict, where there's turbulence, if you like. Um,
Mm.
and so that's just what seems to go on. But I think that the me the me state has got a lot of apparent ideas about what is um, good and what isn't good. What is like, you could call, that there's ideas there that are kind of locked in from a sort of how that individual is sort of grows up and what it learns and all the rest of it. And it has those kind of internalized ideologies there, which are just become part of the contraction of me. Becomes part of the grand picture of me. So, those things are not really sensed. They're just sort of beliefs. Yeah. So they're just beliefs. And I think a lot of the beliefs are just grander formations of me. They're just me takes on a lot of beliefs and says that it's my belief. There isn't really any sensation there. It's just belief. So then you've got belief versus belief,
Mm.
which seems to go on in the world a lot. But it's not really, when we're talking about sort of conflict in the sense of a natural conflict, that's a responded to conflict that seems to be happening. It seems to be apparently happening. There's a threat, there's defense, there's this kind of thing which goes on. That's very different to an ideology about let's wipe out this this group of people because they're all awful, or there's this religion it shouldn't be around. All of that sort of this ideological stuff. This is a sort of grandization of me's attempt to control everything and to make sure that, my preferences are are kind of the main thing that's kept, like whoever's the megalomaniac, in control of whatever country, it's very often about their preferences about how the country should be. So, one hopes that there's, that everybody votes for you because they've got the same preference. But this is all about me. This is all about me attempting to control everything. So there's the nature of the expression of the of what's apparently happening, the response to what's apparently happening, and then there's also this huge story, which is
Mm,
going on, which is all about me. And those are very
mm.
different. There's the natural responses of the body have got absolutely no interest in anything associated with war, racism, all of these kind of things. All of these are kind of huge me fixations.
Yeah, and even without the me fixations, I mean, there is this idea that, if the me dissipates, then there wouldn't be conflict, there wouldn't be war, but that's
No,
not true
there would
because there
no,
is
there would,
conflict
yeah,
in the
absolutely. Yeah.
with animals, and but like we it seems that there are ideological stories that explain why that conflict is happening.
Yeah, well, it's all story. I mean,
Yeah.
all wars and, in a certain sense, the histories of wars, a lot of what we would call wars rather than conflict, conflict, I'm differentiating that. I'm saying conflictual, response is more of that sort of friction, natural friction, and this is what we're talking about is all a story. It's all stories about history, about what happened, and about how there's going to be some kind of revenge or some some process of attempting to right the wrongs that have been done. So anything that has got a story around it is obviously something that is coming from the me state. It's very much meing in the world. Yeah.
And so, relatively speaking, it it seems like it's worth paying attention to some of these stories. Not that anyone's doing that, but for example, in the current political climate in the United States, there's a lot of fear among immigrants about deportation. And so here, I really, really want to travel to the UK and see the non-duality speakers, visit you, visit Tony, and others. And but I'm afraid to leave the country because I'm afraid I won't be let back in
Yeah.
as an immigrant. So although and so I get a little confused about, like, okay, I'm paying attention to the news and seeing the stories play out, and I'm basing my actions on those stories that
Well,
are.
yeah, I mean, but I mean, just because I mean, those stories for those apparent people who are, going around the world, believe, who have created those stories, believe in those stories, that there's no question about that those stories being real. That's the
Mhm.
parameters within which society seems to work. That stories are real because I am real. So that's how society functions. So of course you're concerned about that because if you decide to cross a border somewhere, somebody over there is not going to necessarily recognize that you could that their story is nonsense. you know
Mm.
it doesn't mean that the stories aren't nonsense, of course. All stories are irrelevant. All there is this. So there's no possibility that that any of those things have got any reality other than the fact that they're stories which keep on being repeated all the time. To keep those stories going, that's the only way that me has a possibility of this sense of continuousness. It needs to continue. So every day the same stories are repeated, you know, apparently. They just repeat, they seem to be, which is just the me state waking up and contracting in the morning. It's just that
Mm.
morning contraction, and then you go about your day. And
Yeah.
within that contraction, are all of the stories of humanity, are all of the stories that continually are told on and on and on. Yeah.
So the concern about crossing the border
Mm.
isn't necessarily coming from a story of continuity or the illusion of separation. It's
No,
just
it's
what's
just
happening.
when
It's
well, yeah, it's
practical.
just what's. I mean, I would be, concerned about crossing a border with a man with a gun, suggesting that he's got a story about the fact that he's protecting his country. I'd be pretty concerned about that. Yeah. It doesn't mean that there's any sort of sense of belief in that story, but but I do recognize that he's got a gun. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a very simple thing.
Yeah.
It's just what it is. Um,
Yeah, it's so simple and the mind kind of complicates. Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just that. Yeah, it's just that. It's the this what is extremely simple. This is like a toddler's view, right? So a toddler trying to get across the border, you know. What's a border for a start? So I mean, do you know what I mean? These are all stories. That's fine.
Mm.
There's no problem. It's just that there is obviously stories because there's nothing happening. All there is this.
Mm. Thanks, David.
Thank you. Hi, Michael. You're muted at the moment, Michael. Yeah.
Hey, sorry.
Hi. That's all right.
Hi, David.
Hi. How you doing?
Good to hear you.
You too.
So I wanted to, I guess, talk about or just say um, the past, I guess, like 2 weeks, there was there was really nothing happening, and this is also nothing happening, but. So for those 2 weeks, there was no seeking in the sense like there was no need. Like it was there was literally there was see like there was this is nothing happening. Like this is nothing happening. And I guess maybe like yesterday, like it was just like 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 the contraction felt like it was just like I had to do something with it. And it was like yeah, it was just like it's like sitting outside, people were walking by, and it was like, oh, I gotta make sure I'm like saying hey or something, or like I gotta smile, or like, and then it made me feel weird because I didn't feel that way. So it was just like this weird, oh my gosh, like what? And but like, and so like, and so like last night I was just like, I was just felt this just hatred towards like just everything like I hate this and the state of this and this and that and like I guess yeah the contraction came and it just like boom like just like an avalanche with all the BS and the stories like and how everything just seems more like serious again like I got to make things happen and like this and that and like but this is still nothing happening.
Well, all of that is just what seems to
What?
be happening. So there's nothing to do.
Yeah,
There's nothing to do. There's no one to do that, to do anything about that.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I
Yeah. Nice.
yeah. Yes. I mean, that's like yeah, just it's like I wanted to spew that and then I wanted you to say that.
Okay. Well, there you go. I'm glad. No, thank you for that. That's
Yeah, thanks. Thank
nice to
you.
hear. Yeah, yeah.
Bye.
Bye bye. Hi, Casey.
Hi, David.
Hi.
Hi. I had a question about thoughts like I should have done this, I should have done that. So, like, what I noticed is I had a meeting earlier today that I felt a lot of just in like a lot of energy in my body afterward, and I noticed that the thoughts were kind of like fast too. Like I sh like thinking about reviewing it and like thinking, is there anything I should have done differently? And it seems like it's just a way of trying to control that feeling of intense energy. So I guess my question is, would you say those kind of thoughts are just a means of trying to control?
What I would say is the thoughts about trying to analyze whether those thoughts are a means of control is seeking. Okay. So the nature of there being analysis can, whether there's a me or no me, that can happen. Analysis can happen. Differentiation can happen. That's all of that can happen. But the nature of trying to figure out whether that makes you further or closer to enlightenment is is the seeking. So, so so that's the thing. There's no one does any of that. No one does any of that. It's just what seems to happen is just there can be processing, of data, if you like, of ideas. You can go review things and kind of go, oh, maybe next time it could have been like this, or that's okay. There's no problem about that. You know,
Mm.
there's reviewing things and doing all of that and any of that. But this is the seeking energy is much more about like trying to find something that's getting somewhere, that's on a progression to get you to something called liberation or freedom. And so if you have particular thoughts and then there's this reviewing aspect, there's a me state comes into that kind of going, are those thoughts good or not? Does that mean that I'm okay or I'm not okay? That's becoming, that's trying to get somewhere. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's like looking for is that in the way?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah. Is that damn, I'm, that's dropped me down a couple of levels that because I thought that I should have done something. So yeah, fucking hell, it's like, yeah, another day down
Got
the
it.
drain.
Yeah, another lifetime.
Yeah, that's exactly. So that's the thing. It's like, yeah, I mean, that's that's seeking, that's the trying to find something. This is the end of seeking. This is just what is. There isn't anything to find at all. There's just this. So it's so the seeking is in the end just sort of it falls apart. There isn't any energy anymore for that. So there's nothing that you need to do, at all. There's nothing to do because then that seeking energy is just falls away by itself.
Hmm. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure. Yeah. Uh, okay. Yes. Somebody wanted to ask a question. Okay. I don't know how to pronounce. That's quite a long name. That. Um,
Ines was it?
yes. Ines. Ines. Yeah. Is there somebody who wanted to ask something? You can either put a message. Ines. Okay. Is there if you want to ask a question on the chat, you can, or you can just yeah.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Hello,
Hi.
David. Thank
Oh,
you
hi,
very
there you
much.
are. Ah, great. Hi, Ines. Okay,
Thank
so
you
yeah.
very much for doing this.
Oh, it's a pleasure. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't really have a question,
Okay.
although I don't know, that's a laughter, a smile, which tends to arise more and more, and
Yeah.
even in daily activities. And it seems that um, more and more topics are just dropping the interest,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
because it's
Well,
not,
yeah.
and it's not like a ignorance or arrogance. It's just like somehow it's obvious that it doesn't matter so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, it's more like a relaxation of the
Yeah.
to be interested in subjects.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah.
And also about these energies, it's so obvious that are just energies playing around, because I find myself, words are coming out and talking about stories and getting really involved, and at some point it's just, whoops, what is that? Yeah,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's so obvious that nobody is doing it.
Mm-hmm.
It's just playing by itself.
Yeah.
It's like it's having, although it's not time,
Yes.
like it's having its course, and after that it subsides.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not a problem anymore.
No,
And
just it's just like clouds passing, or or
yes,
there's no control of any of it. It's just what seems to be happening. Yeah.
somehow it's like you feel it in the body. You feel in the body when when a subject is occurring, and it's like there is, and after that it drops. And
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
yeah, no, it's beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. It is what it is in a way.
Right.
It's like,
Right.
yeah. Thank you very much for
No,
doing
thank you.
this.
Thank you. Lovely
Thank
to hear.
you.
Yeah.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Ah, Michael. Yeah. Sorry.
Hey,
Hi, Michael.
hey. Yeah. The so um yeah. So like today has been, I guess, since that happened, it's been something went wrong. Like something went wrong somewhere, and I know this is just the voice of that contraction. Like the something went wrong because I'm having a hard time finding jobs. So like, I went to school for something completely different, and this, and like for Christian, to like a Bible school, dude, like Christian, like a Christian school, dude. And
Okay.
this was years ago, blah, blah, blah. And I was involved in all that. And, but anyways, and then I was playing music and all that kind of like fell apart. Anyways, lately I've been just looking for jobs, and I've been haven't had a good time with it. And today it was just like, man, something fucking went wrong, like it went wrong, like I did the wrong thing because there's people like doing their careers, which I give no shits about. Like I think that's all like, okay, who cares? It's part of like people bask in that, like this is what I do and this is who I am, but now it's just completely different. So like looking for jobs is like it's just to make a means of to buy food, pay rent, you know, like for my family to have something to eat, you know. But like,
Hmm.
in
Yeah,
which we're fine, you know, we're fine, blah blah blah. But like, you know, it's I've been looking for something. This is hard because like there is no interest in like, oh, this is how you can you can make a career with this, you know, or like, oh, like I have no interest in that.
sure. Yeah, sure.
Um,
But I mean, a lot of interest about, how the interest or essentially, is just a sort of preference. It's a sense of something
yeah,
which is pleasurable that the body goes towards. So that can still happen. There can still be a movement towards something which is pleasurable, and also
definitely.
things which you really don't want to do and don't like doing. So that can still go on.
Yeah, yeah, and I feel that. I feel that. I guess I just wanted to express that, and also I guess I I guess I want to see like what you thought, and there is no meaning in anything, but these like the numbers always like I always see them, and maybe it's because I noticed them, and it's because it's obvious because they're double, like 11, 11, or like 12, 12. You know, those like 5, 5, 5. You know, and like, and I don't believe in any like it used to be like, oh, this means this, but now like I still see them, and it's just like they're just numbers on the clock popping up, and they just seem more different than the others because they're like repeating numbers.
Yeah. Yeah,
Correct.
that all of that sort of, yeah, is just sort of like, yeah, I mean, I don't know what to say about that.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
There's
yeah,
sort
yeah.
of, doubling up of, digits for no reason, no meaning or
Yeah,
purpose, that kind of thing. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. It's
It
it's
doesn't
it's
mean
always
anything.
had
It
a
doesn't
big
have any
thing. Yeah,
meaning. Because I mean,
yeah,
that's what's so wonderful about this is that there's no meaning or purpose. I mean, that's freedom.
yeah.
I mean, the fact of when you have to look at double numbers and go, oh, fuck, what does that mean? And then you
Exactly.
have to work it out. Oh my God, I'm going to have to figure this out now. What does that mean? What have I done? Have I done something right or have I done something wrong?
Figure
Because
out,
it could
or
be
this
either,
means, yeah,
couldn't it? So,
yeah,
you know, chasing
yeah.
that around the place, that could be
Beautiful. Yeah, yeah.
bloody hell. Yeah.
No, definitely. It's just like I still notice them, you know, and it's just like, and I know they don't mean anything. It's just, I don't know. I wondered what you thought about them because I still see them, and I think it's because it used to be like a lot of like they were seen as special then, you know,
Yeah, it's
like it
superstition.
was,
Essentially,
yeah,
it's a quality of superstition, which essentially is me looking for meaning. Yeah.
definitely, definitely.
Which of course it can't help but do because it's a quality of contraction. So it will try to find meaning with everything. And what meaning really means is energetic contraction. It just holds on to it. Yeah, it's just contraction, just holds on to it. So
Yeah,
it's just the same thing.
yeah, yeah.
It's just we call it meaning, but actually all it is just energetic contraction. Meaning, trying to find meaning is the voice of the me state.
Yeah,
That's all it is. Questions are the voice of the me state. That's what they are.
yes,
They're trying to find understanding. This cannot be understood. All there is what is. This is just immediacy. It cannot be understood. It's just unknowing, unknowable,
nothing happening.
nothing happening. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Candida, long time.
Hello, Dave.
Hi. Hi. Nice to see
I
you.
managed to get to one of your meetings at last.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I must say I do struggle with this non-dual thing a lot.
Yeah.
I
Well,
don't know if it's because I'm a woman.
I don't think
I
it's
think
that.
a female body with loads of hormones and going
Mm.
through the menopause and coming out the other side, but like for instance, I would say I'm a sort of secret seeker. I pretend I'm not seeking, but really I'm always looking for why things are happening. And
Yeah. Yeah.
anyway, like, for instance, like the physical body, right, has lots of energy flowing through it. And so I was on a training, that internal martial arts training, so working with my body, and I got a virus, and immediately I was like, fuck, that someone's given me this virus. And I went into all this story about how dare that person come into this training and give us all these germs, and why hasn't anyone else got it? So, you know, I just went off on one. And of course, then the virus embedded itself more in my system. And the interesting thing is that I don't know if it's the story around it or whether it's the energy of something in my body, which my body doesn't like. But it brought up a load of grief, like grief from I don't know where from. And I know it affected my lungs. So you know, do I just like, where does this non-dualistic thing come into this? Because
Well, it doesn't come into anything because it's already everything. So it doesn't come into that. It's already everything. So it's it's everything that you mentioned. It's the it's you, before doing the practice. It's the virus. It's the process of deliberating about what the virus was, what the meaning of the virus was, or whatever was going. All of that, everything is what is. It's just what is.
But then so my suffering comes from my story, yeah.
Well, this sufferance, what the way that we would call sufferance, it is in a certain sense the me state, the nature of the me state, that what seems to be latched on to the idea that you could do something about any of those things that you mentioned. There's nobody to do anything. So there's nobody that can. There's nobody that could have, that got that virus in the first place. That had that was that did anything wrong to get that virus, or can do something right to fix that situation. That body has got instincts in it, instincts that move towards either, to go towards something that's pleasurable and away from pain. And that body therefore instinctually knows how to self-right. It doesn't need anybody to do that.
Sure.
So there's nobody actually there, but there is a sense of contraction which believes there is. And that is responsible for everything, for every aspect. It's responsible for all kinds of for all kinds of things going on, in your system. It's responsible for everything, apparently, but it isn't actually. There is no one. So there's nobody doing any of that. It just seems that there is that sense of contraction. That me state is very, believes very strongly that it is, it is in control, and that it needs to sort it out, and that it didn't practice enough of whatever kind of internal martial arts there was, because otherwise your immune system would be absolutely
I did have that.
perfect.
I did have
And you wouldn't have got that in the first place. So it's your fault.
Yeah, that was one of the stories that came up.
Yeah, of course.
I had lots, actually.
Every internal martial artist with a cold has exactly the same thing. So it's this. I know it's a very, I totally understand that. But this is the thing. There's this belief that you are responsible.
I've been told that if you do internal martial arts, your immune system gets stronger and blah blah blah. So
well, yeah, but I mean, I understand that, but the point is that
The story is ever present, wherever which way you look,
exactly.
in whatever system, whatever place.
Wherever you go,
Yeah.
no matter what it is, into the
Yeah.
deepest heart of yoga and qigong, and wherever you go, you will find a little me sitting there trying to control the whole bloody lot and saying that I haven't done enough, or I haven't done, or whatever it is. It's always a process of becoming, and all the while the body's instinct is completely is the healing function of that body and knows exactly what it needs. Sometimes it's better to sleep than to do qigong.
For sure. That's what I did.
Do you know what I mean? The body knows, just responds. It's just responsive.
So are you saying listen more to the body then? To listen to the body?
I'm not saying, this is not saying listen to the body, because who would listen to the body?
Who is listening? Yes.
So there's nobody that listens. In the end, what happens is that there's a giving way of trying to listen to the body, trying to do this, trying to do that, trying to do the other thing. It's like you have this fever, right? In an actual fever. It's kind of, oh God, this fever, I wish it would go away, and I wish it would do this. I'm going to take loads of vitamin C. So you get all the vitamin C and you pour it down your throat, and do everything that you can to fix this problem, right? You do all that you can, and then eventually you just get so fucking exhausted with the whole lot. You go, none of this is working. I'm just going to go to bed, and you just go to bed. And that's when it gets better. I'll be previous, all the rest of it, it doesn't do a damn thing. It just makes it worse. It just, constantly trying to find something. There's nothing to find. There's just this.
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
David?
Yes.
It's Uzma.
Uzma, hi.
Hi. It is said that the me state, the me energy doesn't actually have any power. It's not doing anything. It's not driving the body. And on one level, that makes complete sense. And then I was just thinking about what you said about the man with a gun at the border with a story. And I thought, well, if that story collapsed there, wouldn't that man put down the gun? And isn't that like a sense of power that the me is driving that man? I mean, I think I'm getting discombobulated there.
No, I mean, I think that, when we're talking about what we're talking about, in a certain sense, if one says about power in this context, when we're talking about like the me state or something like that, then what we're talking about is saying that it's like a power, or having independence, having its own control over something, and that's just not what is. The me has got no independence because it isn't a thing. It is just a contraction of energy. So there's no choice.
Right.
There's no
Okay.
choice. It's like that if what you're talking about is the suggestion that this this apparent man with the gun has got a choice. There's no choice at all.
Yes, that makes sense. That
Yeah,
makes total sense.
yeah,
Yeah, like the contraction is reflected in the thoughts and behaviors, but it's not the thought and behavior itself.
yeah,
Yeah, okay. That makes sense. Thank you.
yeah, yeah. It's. I mean, it's yes, exactly. I mean, the me state is just what it is. It's just a contraction of energy. It is not a real thing with free will and choice. There is no separate thing called me. That's the point.
Yeah, cool. Thank
Yeah,
you.
sure. And Anita says, yeah, the contraction is meaningless. Yes, quite.
Hi, David.
Hi, Laura.
Hi.
Hey.
I wanted to talk with you about mental health. Is your impression that when the let's say whatever has happened with you, that you died, that the mental health of you has or your body has balanced or even out, or was there no change at all?
Well, I mean, mental health is a kind of quite a, yeah, I mean, it's a
Broad
big
topic,
area.
yeah. Mm.
I mean, well, all I would say is that, again, is that there's energy, that mental health, is, the energy, when the energy in the body is in contraction and the me state is apparently, there
Yeah.
somehow. That there is a quality of contraction, which means that the flow of energy through that body is impeded. And all I can say is that when that is that there is an apparent letting go, a kind of falling away or a dissolution of that me state, then the energy flows, and so there is less of what here I would have called a kind of depressive or a tension in the system, which I think is what is very often associated with mental health patterns. Yeah.
Interesting. I'm asking because my life has really drastically changed. I think it changes all the time, anyways, drastically. But these days, so I find myself. I've moved last year to a place, and I'm in a complete different region, and it's very difficult to build up as like kind of social network. So I'm feeling extremely lonely at times.
Yeah.
And and I'm getting hard times on my mental health through it. I realized I get depressed by it, like really, like it's a kind of a suffering state. But whenever a kind of social contact is then happening, I can like it seems as if the mood changes, the whole thing what was previously seemingly going on is gone then again. And it's like, so that's why I ask. So maybe I'm just trying to use this message to to solve my loneliness. I don't know, like, yeah, I don't know.
Well, I mean, again, the that body has a certain set of preferences, and that body may feel that being around people is something that it enjoys, it likes, and not being around people it may not like. I mean, that would be kind of quite reasonable, considering humans are quite social animals in a way. you know. But the idea that the meeting of the apparent other is going to solve all of your problems and
Yeah.
is going to be the
Ikea.
solution. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's obviously not. Yeah, yeah. But there can be a natural movement towards people. That's just normal. That's
Yeah.
completely normal. Why wouldn't that be the case? There's can be a natural interest in moving towards people. Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm. Interesting. Thank you.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking about birds. There are a lot of birds breeding in groups and feeding in groups. I
Yeah.
guess that's the same.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's quite, I mean, it's quite natural
yeah,
that humans, are in groups. We tend to do that.
yeah. But when I think about cormorants, they are feeding in groups, but they're also solitaire cormorants.
Hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what's apparently happening, of course.
That's what's apparently happening.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Quite interesting. Yeah, but there was no reason for anything, also not for feeding in a group
No,
or
no,
feeding
no,
at the
there's no
river
reason.
as a
There's no
solo.
meaning or purpose anywhere.
No,
There's just energy, in that form, the form of a human, the form of a cormorant, the form of any, and those different forms have got different preferences.
yeah, 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 that's it. Yeah. Nice to talk to you.
Yeah, nice to talk to you too.
Hi, David.
Hi, Ollie. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hi. Hi. How you doing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, you just described and you just mentioned it. You mentioned before maybe about that sort of like a depressive state in a way. Um, was there a story running about that at the time?
Oh yeah, yeah. I mean, that's what it was. It's sort of like the weight of the story, really. The story of me, story of my life. Yeah.
Uh,
Sort of a tragedy, really.
yeah, I get it. Yeah, yeah, the story of my life. Yeah.
Mm.
Mm. And would part of that story that was probably running then be about what we talk about, going to meetings, why isn't anything happening? That whole thing wrapped up in it maybe as well, was it?
Oh yeah, yeah, of course. Yeah. I mean, that just added to the mix, it's just like, you've got the you've got the you've got the
You got the general depressive life and then you just just
yeah,
like an
you
added
just
layer.
yeah,
It's like the
exactly.
cream on top.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. It's exactly like that. You know.
Life wasn't bad enough without this other shit now.
Yeah, yeah. And then it just adds on top, another layer of, of
Mm.
stuff, which of course, is another the me will take that on and say, there you go, couldn't get enlightened either. It's another thing, that's the cherry on the top. It's just like, there you go, another thing that I failed at, that I'm obviously not getting right. And that kind of builds more into the story of victimization. You can feel totally victimized by this non-duality, world, because I haven't got it. So, you know, I'm, I'm obviously not good enough. That's the idea, that's what seems to go on. And that just goes on and goes on and goes on. And then it just sort of collapses under its own weight. And then there's just nothing left. There's just what is. It's just what is at the base of all. Or it's just, all of that just falls out.
Yeah, I can get so bad really, like the whole sense of nothing happening and everything. It can just really turn into a real sense of feeling sorry for yourself.
Yeah, yes. Which is, I mean, that's what me does. That's part of the contraction. It is this feeling sorry for myself. I am feeling sorry for myself. I and myself. One, two, dualism. It's the nature of dualism. That's the energy of dualism. So it is in itself, of course, a state of tension, depression, contraction. Yeah. That's the nature of it. That's the fever. And then it breaks.
Yeah, it could seem like it's almost like madness in a way, really.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah. You're quite. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It does feel quite mad. And as you can see, that is reflected in the world with borders and guns and etc.
Like even what we talk about, especially that can really feel like actual madness.
Well, it can, for me, yeah, me, me very often will consider what this conversation to be utterly ridiculous. Um, but it is quite the reverse from from natural reality. It's quite the reverse. The actual nature of me is absolute insanity. It's a fever which is, which is a hallucination. of separateness. But yeah, I mean, from me, from me, this conversation is utterly ridiculous and is completely pointless and meaningless and doesn't have any, it's not getting me anywhere. So, why would either that could be considered mad or ridiculous or, dangerous, perhaps.
Yeah, I went through a phase of thinking in a way that it was it seems to really drive that. It can seem to really agitate that energy and actually drive it into a sort of a state of madness.
Well, the seeker can try to get this very, very hard, and in the process of trying to get it very, very hard, it can feel absolutely maddening because it isn't getting what it wants, and the further it reaches towards that pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, the further further it sort of jumps, across the next field or whatever. So yeah, that is pretty irritating, really.
Yeah, especially when there's a sense, because there's a sense for a long time that things were shifting. Like obviously it comes across as I'm getting somewhere, but when that comes to an end and you sort of have got it somehow intellectually and whatever, there's just a lot of shifted in that way, and then actually there's nowhere else to go. Then that madness can really ramp up because there's nowhere else to go. You're just
No.
going over the same ground then again.
Sure.
Yeah.
There's nowhere to go. There's an extreme frustration, agitation, I mean, I remember somebody, talking about reading The Open Secret. The first time they read The Open Secret, they read it and then they just threw it across the room. That was the immediate response. They read part of the book and they just threw it across the room and they never went back to it. And it just kind of lodged itself behind a radiator or something like that. And then years later, they came back to it and read it again and then threw it across the room again. It's this tends to happen. It's very agitating in a way because it's something where it's like the me can't get it. Nobody can get this. This is impossible to get. This is unknowing. This is the end of the seeking. It's not the beginning of seeking. It's not the process of seeking. It's the end of seeking. So, of course, there isn't, and of course, it cannot be got. So,
yeah, and that energy cannot help but feel like it's getting somewhere, that it's going somewhere, that
yeah,
it's going to get something.
yeah. It's just all the energy of seeking and seeking, 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 seeking. It's just a loop like this. And then it collapses.
In a way, it kind of seems that's half the way. It's sort of maddening in a way because like you're listening and you hear there's nowhere to go and somehow it sort of registers, and then that energy then comes in and wants to go somewhere. It can't sort of, it's sort of fluctuating between hearing it and then the energy comes in that wants to go somewhere, make something of it.
Well, it will never hear it. It will never hear it. I mean, the me state can't hear this. It is veiled. The me state veils this, what is being expressed. It veils it. It can't hear it. It's like it's put cotton wool buds in. It is not unable to hear this. It's actually only when the me falls away that this actually is heard.
Yeah, that seems obvious. I see that seems really obvious now.
Yeah.
And that's even more frustrating.
Yeah, of course, yeah, of course,
Yeah.
to that which wants to find it. that's why this that's why this message for some people is extremely relaxing, because it's just that, oh, there's nothing to do. Thank God. Fuck. Or on the other hand, it can be extremely agitating, like, I can't get this, I can't find it. So
like in a way with a glimpse, what you've just said there, like me. So when there's a glimpse, it's gone now. What I was gonna say, fuck, I can't hold it.
no, that's fine.
Yeah. It's seen that me, yeah, in a glimpse, it's seen like something sees that me can't be in it. There's like me can't see this, and then it's even more frustrating because then me tries to start getting rid of the me to get back to, because it knows that it
Well, yeah,
can't
but
see
I
it when
mean,
it's there.
me
Like
will
it's
never get rid
seen.
of
Me
me.
can't be in what we talk about.
Yeah,
What
me
we
will
talk
never get rid of me.
Yeah.
He can't do it, simply can't.
Yeah.
Simply can't get rid of me. There's no me to get rid of me. So it's just again, it's just it's frustration, because that contraction desperately wants to control everything. Absolutely everything. It wants everything. So yeah, it's bound to fail. Doomed. In fact, I would say it's doomed to fail. It's already what it longs for. That's the problem. What it is, the energy of meing, is what it longs for.
I can't get that in something. I never can hear that in a way.
Well, no, I mean, me will never hear this. This is not for. This is not talking to a me there. This this is in complete recognition that there is no such thing as me. So this has got no. There's no interest in convincing you of anything. There isn't anybody that I'm talking to.
And I suppose, yeah, I'm just chewing the fat here anyway. It's
There's a lot of fat to chew.
yeah. Yeah. And then, and you like, yeah, like the last time, let's say, just whatever, there was sort of a glimpse, and Jesus, there was so, like, for whatever, there was so much lightness. It was like the weight had just lifted, and that seems to be the goal now. Oh, this deadness is gonna lift. It was literally, I could have jumped over walls. It was just that heaviness just lifted.
Yeah.
But
That's just what seems to be happening. You're not in control of any of it. Thanks, did you have something? What were you going to say?
No, that's me done, David.
Sure. Thanks so much, Ollie. Thank you.
David.
Thank you so much. Yeah. Michael?
Hey.
Hey, Michael.
So yeah, I think you maybe previously said it or a little earlier that yeah, the me has absolutely no power over anything because there's always nothing happening. So it's just really loud. It's really loud, and then the contraction in the body, it's like it feels
The
like
me
there's
has
something,
no the me has
but there's no
no control.
power.
The me has no control over anything because there is no me.
Yeah, but the contraction thinks it does, but it
Yeah,
doesn't.
well, yeah,
And there is no me. It's just energy, like contracting or whatever.
Yeah.
That somehow makes it seem like something needs to happen,
Yeah.
like 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 something needs to be done.
Sure. Yeah.
Like this is not enough, as it is, which it is, and there's nothing happening but contraction happens, and it's like, no, like
Yeah.
something needs to like happen. Like there's
Yeah.
something's got to happen, and all the while it doesn't know what needs to happen. It's just like it's like no, like fuck, you know, like you know.
Hmm.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Quite. Yeah.
And then so in Christianity they've named it the devil, but there is no devil. There is no. It's just contraction, and then it's named this thing as something that you have to run away from, and then like pray away from, and then like recite Bible verses over, and
Sure.
like do all
Oh,
these
there's many
things.
things.
But there is never any. There is no devil. There is just this contraction that happens, and then now everything is revolved around like escaping it, I guess, and then like pretend like
Yeah, there's this apparent contraction,
yeah,
and that
yeah,
is named in many ways as being
yeah,
something
all
that is your responsibility to resolve. But there is no one that can resolve it, and there is nothing there. It's essentially the nature of the me state is not something that is anybody's. Nobody created that, nobody formed that. It's just what
mm,
seems to happen,
mm.
and the falling
Wow.
away of it is also nothing to do
Yeah.
with anyone.
Yeah. Fuck, dude. I was trying like a couple of days ago, like what I love this. I there's no one really I can talk to about this, so I'm so happy to talk about this. Well, it seems, so openly. And I was thinking, I was like, how does this conversation come about? And where it it shines such a light on that this shit that we've all been looking for. Like there's I can't even like describe it like or I mean I guess no one can, but like how this conversation comes along, and then it's like it's the end of 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 that of that. And
Yeah.
like yeah, like I was yeah, like it was just like trying to like I couldn't listen to it. Like it was like there was no need for me to listen to it. And but then I was trying to figure out how incredible, like how free, like how freeing it is, and then like
Well,
you try to explain it, there's nothing to say.
this is just this is in a way just a response.
Yeah,
This is just a response to apparent questions that are being expressed here, and without
yeah,
that, there's nothing to say.
yeah,
There's nothing to say, all there is what is.
yeah. It's so incredible because you want to talk about it. Like I want to tell the whole world, but I did it like, and I also did it. So like, and I'm saying did it like it was like a past event. I'm talking about what I said earlier, how there was those 2 weeks where there was nothing happening. So there was just nothing happening, and there was no desire to like tell the whole world type thing and about it or something. But it seems like when
Yeah,
like
I
the me
mean, it's
maybe
the
gets
me.
a bite
Yeah,
and it wants to tell about it, the bite or something. I
yeah,
don't know.
the me loves to
Doesn't matter.
the me loves to tell the story of of this, but
Yeah, yeah,
actually there
yeah.
is no story. There is
There
nothing to
isn't.
tell. There's no, there's nothing to celebrate. There's nothing
Mm,
to
there isn't.
demonstrate. There's just what is. This is
Yeah.
extremely normal.
Mm,
All there is immediacy.
mm, yeah.
Thanks, Michael.
Yeah, thank you, David.
Yeah. Elaine? Hi.
Hi, David.
Hi.
I just wanted to actually to say how what's been said today it sort of hit home because I'm bloody sick of hearing about immediacy and the me falling away and all this. So words like feeling mad and being depressed because I just have this. I mean, we talk about a seeking or a seeking energy, but I don't have any interest in seeking. In fact, everything seems to be falling away. All interests in. I feel quite dispassionate about being with people, not being with people. And yet I listen to these talks and meetings, but at the same time, there's this yearning and longing. So this madness, I just feel like.
Oh yeah, totally. Well, there's not obviously there's no more questions. There's no more of those kind of things probably going on. But at the same time, there is an intensity of seeking, which is still going on.
Sneaky one.
Yes, exactly. Sort of yes, as the hidden seeker, as Candida was saying, that it's this yes, it's a sneaky seeking, and but it's going on, and there can be so much intensity around that actually everything in the world doesn't make any damn difference. All I want is everything. And interestingly enough, that is what there is there. All there is everything there already.
I also think I don't fucking want everything either. I
No,
just
no,
don't
well,
want.
no. Well, you don't know. I mean, me doesn't know what it wants. It doesn't have any, it's so frustrating because it knows that it wants something, but it doesn't know what it wants. Because all it is an energy. It's a mechanism. Me is just contraction. It's just contraction, contraction, contract. That's all it is. It's just a one trick pony. It just goes round and round. That's all it does. And then it doesn't. So the thing is that it's not anything to do with what this has got nothing to do with you. This has got nothing to do with what you want or anything to do with anything like that. This is just a fever breaking.
Yeah. Well, that's all I want. I just wanted also to say thank you for whatever words have been said today.
No, it's yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah, Lauren.
Hi, David.
Hi, Lauren. How you doing?
Good, thank you.
Good.
Well, I was going to ask you, how do you know that this is all there is?
I don't know that this is all there is. I don't know anything. This is not coming out of anything or place or center. This is just expression. So this is unknowing. This isn't knowing anything. This isn't there's no solutions here. You may have noticed. I'm not giving any solutions to anything. This is just expressing that all there is what there is. All there is this. There's just what is. There's no need to find anything or to go and get anything because it's impossible. But there's nothing that knows that, it's just expression. It's just expression without any meaning or purpose.
How can it seem that this is so significant in a way, and yet, there's only 34 people at this meeting?
Well, yeah, I mean, It's one of these things which is quite niche, really. I mean, it's not, you know, it's not really something that people are that people most apparent people in this world are interested in becoming, in getting somewhere. And this really, as I've mentioned, because there's nothing here that's actually offering anything, that actually, why the hell would you want to come to this kind of meeting? I mean, there's nothing on offer. You're not getting anything out of it. So it's kind of a bit of a crazy thing to get involved in if you're you know, a me that's very you know, convinced that this is that the world is, you know, how it is. You know, this is you know, this is a ridiculous message.
But it's so obvious that just beyond my grasp, there's the miracle of this being at all. And, you know, I can't really feel that.
Yeah.
But I feel like I could if I don't know, could just have enough focus or something.
Yeah, well, that's the bit. It's like I could only feel this if I tried harder, is basically what you're saying. If I tried harder or I did something really well, you know, and maybe I can, you know, do a course on it or something, and then, you know, then I can, you know, really get into it, and then I can find what this is.
Mhm.
And
Or stop trying harder.
that's why there's so few people at this meeting, because there isn't anything that can be offered to do that, because there's no one there and there's nothing actually being expressed. This is just yeah, this is just an expression, a statement, really, just constantly expressing the same thing, which is all there is what is. All there is this.
Mm.
Why do we need to go beyond this? Why does there need to be, why do we have to find something more? Why does there have to be another, you know, step? There's no more steps.
Mm. Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much. Imran.
Yeah, am I unmuted? I think I am, yes.
Oh, yeah, you're off. Yeah, yeah, great. Hi, how are you?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, good. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. David, I just wanted to kind of say thank you for today's meeting. Yeah, it's been very rich contributions from everybody. The whole looking for vitamins had some relevance, because me's always looking for vitamins or a form of vitamins. Yeah.
Sure, yeah, yeah, absolutely.
I kind of wanted to ask you, but I'm sure of this anyway. As me, me can feel kind of crazy and then find its way to this message. And myself, I was due to go to a Tony Parsons meeting at Collett House many years ago, and it got cancelled, no problem. And then one day I find a book called The Open Secret, so it developed from there. Now, me comes to these meetings, perhaps feels even more crazy, and then gets no answers. Now, in the story of the individual, there can be a seeming lessening, easing, softening, and all sorts of things. Yeah. Now, me can harness that and say, wow, I'm getting somewhere. I'm getting somewhere. Life is 50% better. So I've only got a few more retreats, and I've got to save up for them. And
Yes, quite, yeah.
it's as if, and I'm sure this is the case, seeking is inherent to the me. Wanting something other than this is inherent to the me. Would you agree with that?
Yes. Oh, yes. Yeah, seeking and me are one. So there's no, you know, the moment me begins, seeking begins. You know, that's it. It's just it's the energy of contraction. So it's just that quality that is the mechanism. Yeah.
And of course, the moment seeking ends, the me's not there. Either physical death or
Yeah,
yeah.
the me, you know, the me state, because it's just a state of energy, just dissolves back into the whole, or just is burns out, or however you want to express it. but it's just the nature of something no longer being, you know, the running out of juice. You know, so a quality of something just not being able to keeping on seeking. It just collapses.
And there can almost be a deflation of a balloon that was the seeker, if I were to give you an analogy. And just investment in seeking can or does subside or become irrelevant, and it's interesting after a lifetime that can happen.
Yeah, as you say, yeah. Mm-hmm.
After
There's any number of there's any, you know, there's no rules. You know, energy is just free and wild and there's no control. There are no rules. So there's no way that there's any sort of possibility of control or, you know, telling how it's, you know, how me falls away, or kind of, you know, what Tony used to say, a sneaking up on you know, nothingness. You can't sneak up on nothingness, you know. So it's it's yeah, it's there's no way.
Yeah. And David, it's as if when one is exposed to this message in the beginning, there can be a substantial investment in understanding this message from the point of view. Yeah,
absolutely.
When that subsides, there's a relief. When seeking subsides, there is of course a relief. Yeah, and I'm finding there's no investment in people, belongings, relationships, friendships, all the things that the me used to do to be seen.
Yeah. Sure. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, David. And I'm seeing you in a few weeks.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thanks, Imran. Yeah. Yeah, that's a good point, actually. I should just say that I will be, if I can get my, just get my diary here to make sure I get the dates right. Yeah. So on August the 23rd, I will be in Collet House. So I don't know whether anybody wants to come for that, but I will be in London on the 23rd, which is on my. You can have a look at that on my events on the website, or so yeah. But all I wanted to say was thank you very much for coming, everyone. What you long for is already what is. All there is this. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thanks,
David.
David.
Take care.